Alright. Let's wrap up Ardenweald. See how far we get.
In nature.
With all of the anima you recovered from Tir Nok, it's only a matter of time before my grove becomes the target of every anima-seeking enemy of Ardenweald. I hope Dreamweaver knows what he's doing with this ritual. Proceed quickly.
The darkness must.
Your efforts at Tir Nok have enraged the Drust. Those creatures of decay and destruction, who have no point in being this expansion, are swelling at our borders, and already they pierce our defenses. How? Where are they coming from? Now we see their real faces. We know the true nature of our foe. Strike at them. It'll buy us time for you to conduct your ritual.
For Queen and Grove.
Like, for real. Where did the Drust even come from? How did they get here? Why are they coming here? There is one zone after Ardenweald. Oh, I'm missing an ability. There it is. Just the one. There's more like three. There's 3 zones after Ardenweald. There's a zone after Ardenweald. Then there's an entire campaign. 4 of them, actually. Then there's 2 zones. Then we're done. We're never getting out of Shadowlands. We're playing Shadowlands for the rest of our lives. This is a good flow. I like this. No, Revendreth. Whoops. That. Yeah, Revendreth is last. As it should be.
Your anima will be mine!
I forget where Torghast quests are, but they're after this too. It's all after this. We're stuck in the hellscape that is the Shadowlands forever. That's appropriate, isn't it? We're just stuck in the afterlife. Well, you see, the Drust... Look, I'm sorry. The problem with the Drust is they really are such nothing burgers. Yeah, I'll probably do one real Torghast run just to show it off. You know, the good part of Torghast. But the other Torghast stuff will all be MSQ only, which is different. Proc rate's been pretty good so far. Like, you can see it popping up there. But I really like... So I of course, set up my own build, which is this wonderful thing over there. You notice I'm leaning heavily left. Just like in real life. And I like the idea that this is setting up... Is that Silvermoon? That this is... No, that's the Night Elf City, isn't it? Anyways, I like the way I have this set up. I am very, very heavily focused on Avenger's Shield. If you look at how many talents affect Avenger's Shield, if you'll notice, I have all of them. So, it does a lot more, and it comes back quicker, and I have other abilities that make it come back quicker, and I have procs on it. It's great. I'm loving it. That's pretty good, Magister. Grats. I may have to do this, because that's just out of the way. So, yeah, this is one of the things I did during my off hours. I decided on a spec for Prot, and I have finally decided on the mount I'll be using on this character. Something I could have done days ago, I just hadn't been putting the time into. Look at that. That was beautiful. That just flowed. But yeah, so this is my choice of mount. Obvious in hindsight, but I've always loved the Earth Dragons in general. And the Ruby one, which is the dungeon meta achievement from Kata, just kind of fits Horde Runner. ignoring the fact that we have rubies on the red motif for the Horde. So, we've got a spec, we've got a mount. I'm really liking Prod. This is crazy. I'm actually liking this a little bit better than I liked Ret, at least for soloing. Do I have Annex? No. I have the one that drops in the stone core. I have the alchemy one. I have this one. But I do not have the other one. Or maybe I do? This one. Yep, nope, I don't have this one. I never got this one. And honestly, I'm probably never going to. Farming a rare for a mount?
Welcome.
Not unless I have a very specific desire for that for like a specific character. Oh, shoot. Okay.
Need anything?
You ready to begin the ritual? Wonderful. I am also ready.
Night embrace you.
Now that we have the animal we need, we must attune at the heart of Tirnagnok to the shrines of the Hibernal Hollow. Then we can bring the Wild Seal's nightmares into the light and dispel them. Take the heart to the shrines just outside the hollow in the Dreamshine Basin, and bring the heart back to complete the ritual. But be careful, there's mobs you were supposed to be killing while doing this quest.
Enjoy the journey.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Float
Winlock.
on the wind.
If it makes you feel any better, there's a Hearthstone, which is 100% drop rate off of a boss I was doing regularly that I have never gotten. I'm pretty sure when we do that boss for this run, someone else will still take it from me, and I will just continue to never get it. The Drust attacked so quick that they captured some of the spirit tenders in the grove. It's not an easy job to do, between the drought and monsters and everything, I should know. Please see if you can get them out of whatever terrible magic those invaders have cast on them.
More Drust will surely attack us soon. Please, hurry.
I still don't have the drop off of Fire Rack, and I do want it. I also haven't 100% decided yet if I'm going to go for the other legendary, the Evoker only one. I don't know what's involved. But I'll think about it. Depends on how much I care about my Evoker, really. I really like where Prod's at. This is crazy. I'm sorry to keep gushing, but wow. Like, Red is good, but Prod is crushing it.
I've seen spirits have nightmares before, but nothing like this. The trauma this one must have been through.
Yeah, Prod is in a really great place. Holy crap. So, can I just say really quick, as much as it's nice that we're going through this whole quest chain, why is it that after the infinite years of bajillions of gabrillions of everythings, that it's only now we've ever seen someone have this much trauma after dying? Like, plenty of the Loa who have gone through here have died in horrific circumstances. Like, oh, I don't know, all of the ones who died during the War of the Ancients. Just to name one example. Most of whom were brought back, in fact. Like, surely they were, like, horrifically traumatized by being murdered by the Burning Legion? I mean, Malorn had his neck snapped by Archimond. Just to use an example there. No legendaries in War Within yet, which honestly is probably a good thing. If there was one mistake Legion made, it was its legendaries. And its order campaigns. And its AP grind. And like 15 other things. But that was the big one, was the legendaries. I doubt they'll skip it too. Call me a weirdo. I've always preferred the approach where one class or one role gets a legendary per expansion. I know that I have an invalid opinion on it because I'm looking from the perspective of, you know, doing the quest, seeing the story, and getting the transmog. I don't care if that legendary has stats on it, because functionally it does not. It's the same thing with relic weapons over in FF14. I don't get those relic weapons because they're good gear. I get them because they look cool, and I'm going to keep using that appearance for years. And that's the thing for me. A legendary weapon having stats is neat and all, but even if it does, those stats are only going to last one expansion. Right? That transmog will last me years. I am still using my ARR transmog, to use an example, for my paladin. I still use the Glaives of Azeroth on my demon hunter.
Well, it's pretty clear that this spirit won't dream peacefully until we confront what haunts it.
Yeah, you know what? The bow from Sunwell. I feel really bad because I have that bow on my warrior. I have Terragosa on my mage. I still use that on my mage. In fact, you may make fun of me for this, but the specific reason I leveled up my mage that has the Terragosa staff is so that in Dragonflight I can show off that extra quest. Coincidentally, I then kept leveling that mage, because mage is awesome, but that was the impetus for making that my second 70. There's one. What I'm trying to get at is an idea I've been bouncing around the back of my head for a while. I wonder if, and this is from the perspective of someone who was a raid leader, if it would actually be better to have legendaries not have stats at all. To literally not have stats. Part of this idea comes from Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2's do have stats, but Guild Wars 2's gear is different. So it kind of doesn't really apply the same way, you know? And having, you know, a big custom transmoggy weapon, which you earn over the course of an expansion or a guild or a raid or whatever, that kind of fits for me. Players will already go through a fairly large amount of work and time and effort in order to get cosmetics, right? And hearthstones, and mounts, and titles. Just make legendaries another aspect of that, right? In fact, if they do that, they could concentrate some of their time and effort on something else, like, random example, maybe add more effects to the legendaries. Once again, borrowing from Guild Wars 2, one of the cool things legendaries do in Guild Wars 2 is they give you a spell effect. As in, for an example, there's like, well, honestly, this frickin' backpack that's on me right here. But no, like, for example, in Guild Wars 2, legendaries will do things where, like, there's an orb of energy that kind of hovers over here, changing color depending on which step of the legendary you have. Or maybe there's like this glow that you put off. Or maybe you have like this flowing green flame coming up that, and stuff like that, right? Just spell effects that can hover around you, indicating you have a legendary on. Extra little cosmetic reasons to indicate, you know, why you'd want to go for one. You might think, why do that on top of the appearance? Well, there's several reasons, but the biggest by far is it would make it so that people who don't even see their weapons very often or their gear very often would still have a reason to get a legendary, because they'd see the effect. Druids come to mind immediately on that. Alright, Seed, I got you.
Good. All that's left is to begin the ritual. Night embrace you.
You're natural at this. Now we can bring the spirit's nightmares out into the open and deal with them directly.
See you later.
The spirit within the wild sea dreams of her birth and youth in the primordial days of her world. Go to the first dream shrine outside Hibernal Hollow. Meditate and soothe the vision of how her life
The
began.
nightmares may not be real, but they can still hurt you. Be careful.
Hey, Huthor.
The spirit dreams of her past, of the events that shaped all others to come.
I love this, by the way. So do you see those elk wandering around? Those are named food. Those other dragons over there, those proto-drakes, those are labeled not friend. Honestly, yeah, very Malorn's Nightmare kind of vibes here. Yeah, what's actually funny is Ardenweald pretty smoothly leads into Dragonflight. Just Ardenweald. Because, yeah, this would have been a great time to establish the Incarnates. One of my bigger complaints about the Incarnates is they come out of absolutely nowhere. And they're these big world-ending threats, and I'm just sitting there going, who are you again? And I was in a bad position to take the Incarnate seriously because I just dealt with that with the Jailer. So, like, hey, here's someone you've never heard of before who's always been here as a big deal. And I'm like, uh-huh. And that was my only response to that was, uh-huh. God damn, I really like where Protodon is at. I really like Protodon. Holy crap. I know, I always gravitate more towards, you know, tank specs than anything else, but damn. What irritated me, even when Dragonflight was new, was making them a cultural threat to the dragons was way more interesting than them being a world-ending threat. I mean, Lord knows Dragonflight was, in many ways, the beginning of the end for the old ways. Oh, hey, it's Daughter. You see Daughter up there? Over here is Adopted Son. I like that. You were the mother that walked the path of the dream with me. You taught me so much. The world needs you.
Hello, champion.
Mother, if only you were here with me. Our kin still have hope, but we struggle without you. I need your guidance.
Is it time to...
Hello, Marithria. Over here, we have Student.
Hail to the night.
My beloved made the right choice when she tried to save you. I grieve for the way it ended. The dream will never be the same. Sorry, it's Marithra, not Marithria. My bad. And dear friend.
Ishnu Allah.
My friend, I mourn your loss and the part I had to play in it. I hope this is not the end.
We will fight to protect our future.
Over there is weakness. It's a rotting nightmare dragon. I could see that, Uthor. I don't know. We'll see if it's as bad as I remember when we go through it. I had a pretty bad taste in my mouth during the initial MSQ when I first went through. So there's uselessness. Over there is desertion. Over there is corruption. Excuse me. Only a few, Lord Harrimont. These are all just abandoned whelps. Over there's the unknown, by the way. Yeah, no, I was going to say, not to spoil too much about War Within, but War Within is the first time we've had a major threat that isn't a world-ending, oh my gosh, Hollywood doom. And it's great. Now, I fully expect we'll get there by the time we get to the end of the saga, but that's fine. Building up to a long-term threat over a trilogy makes perfect sense to me. Having a big world-ending threat every episode does not. There's a reason why the term is called Threat of the Week. Yeah, we're still in the build-up phase, and thank God they're actually bothering to build up. Yeah, they literally call her the Harbinger. You get what I mean, right? Even though she's threatening, even though there are stakes and scopes and scales, what are we dealing with for the majority of War Within? Now, I'm not going to spoil, because I know people are here who still haven't played War Within, but really think about the kind of threats we deal with in all 4 zones. Think about what it is we're actually fighting for and against. With the denizens of the first zone, the denizens of the second zone, denizens of the third, and denizens of the fourth. All of them are touched by the overall main plot, but for the most part, this camera is zoomed in substantially.
So much left unfinished. So much remorse and regret.
So over here we have... I sense the spirit's vision. She struggles with the memory of a betrayal truly profound. Someone as close to her as her brother turned into an enemy. I wonder who that could be. Someone else we'll be seeing in Dragonflight. He's just labeled Worldbreaker. Yeah, the patch, by the way, as a reminder, there will be no stream Tuesday because patch day. Plus, I need to clean, so we're just going to be efficient about it. But, yeah, no, there will be no stream Tuesday, which admittedly kind of sucks because patch day. Yeah, big patch day. This is a major content patch. This is 11.1. I think Shadowlands has been fascinating so far. Usually the term is it better or is it worse? But the answer here is, I think it's more in-depth. You know what I mean? My opinion on Shadowlands has gotten more nuanced over the last few days.
A dear friend's betrayal. A pain that never fades.
Actually, yeah. Great examples, Avion. As I've been going back through Voyager for the lore run, my opinion hasn't gotten better or worse, it's just gotten more detailed. I mean, take a look at those story negatives for a second, because that's not a small amount. Although, speaking of which, I did do the audit off camera. Ardenweald currently has the most visual positives we've given any zone so far. And I didn't design it that way, that's just how that lined up, which is a little bit reaffirming for myself that the system is working as intended, but also makes perfect sense, because it should have that many visual positives. I've also been looking at the comparison sheet in general, and God, there's a lot of red in Shadowlands. If you follow the sheet as a whole, like you look at BC and there's just red everywhere, right? Then you scroll down to Wrath and there's a bunch of red, but there's a bunch of blue. Kata's all over the place. Kata's red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. It's checkerboard because it's Kata. But then Pandaria, mostly blue. Warlords, mostly blue. Legion, still mostly blue. BFA, mostly blue. Then we get to Shadowlands, and this is the first time we've been back to this checkerboard thing. It's been interesting. Anyways, sorry.
How can I help? Dream on.
We all start somewhere, sometimes in unexpected places. Me, I popped out of the ground like a flower.
Enjoy the journey.
To have an old friend turn against you in the most terrible way. How painful. We're so close now to soothing the spirit within the wild seed.
Float on the wind.
Ah, and there's 67.
Take care.
I'm not going to risk that. So, hang on. Sorry, hang on. I was hoping we could get to the point where we go back to Oribos before we get to 67, but I'm not going to risk that. Yeah, hit the plot brakes. Let's go sync. I could do the heritage quest too. I think I'll hold off on that. Oh, it's just going to be... Is the heritage quest anything more than just turning in and getting the armor? Like every other allied quest is. Because if it's just the armor, I might go ahead and do that and see what we got. Oh, that's cool, Huthor. Yeah. Our quest objective for the heritage quest is upload experiences.
What is it?
Oh.
Goodbye.
Oh, that's great. Hey, Kira White Noise. Man, the Earthen have been consistently knocking it out of the park. You notice that? This is our third time now poking our head into the Earthen because I wanted to play this character for Shadowlands. Uploading experiences in Shadowlands. And the server just exploded. Actually, I'm going to do one other thing. No, change my mind. I'll do that later. Codifying Shadowlands as canon. Please wait. I was... right down. I was thinking about the whole soft canon thing for Shadowlands, and I realized something in the back of my head. Obviously, the ideal would be for Shadowlands to be good and for it all to be canon. Duh. You know, as much as retcons can be a good thing, generally speaking, the goal is to minimize retcons, right? But then I started thinking about Star Wars. And if you know anything about Star Wars, you already know where I'm taking this particular mental thought process. Because Star Wars is definitely a setting that should probably be soft canon in several areas. You know, stuff that doesn't really matter and stuff that can just kind of be casually ejected because it's soft canon. Oh, look at that lag. Okay, where am I going? Where am I going? Over to the archive. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, let's just midichlorians this and move on. I need to hit that more often. You know, honestly, that's a good question, Lord Aramont. It might still go to Star Wars by sheer value of quantity. We'll do that. We'll just do something nice and simple for our last point.
Over here, friend. I'm ready to hear about all your adventures.
So I've went to this place called the Shadowlands. Nope, stop. I have been informed that all information on Shadowlands should not be covered. Okay. I just noticed I have an Ardenweald sword and shield set up.
Another experience to add.
It is so good to see you. I'm very interested in your journey outside of Khazal Gur. What have you seen in your travels? Who have you met? Oh, how I wish to hear all your stories. I look forward to the day you upload your experiences to the archive. Perhaps you should do so sooner rather than later.
On to your next adventure.
We cannot thank you enough for this gift. Your experiences will be invaluable to the Earthen still now awakening in the ringing deeps. Please accept this and wear it proudly as you continue to travel amongst the peoples of Azeroth and beyond.
Come back with new... You've done so much in such a little time. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you.
Why is that 3 suits? Unless we have a Gundergaz, a Freywold, and a Dornagal for that. Let's see what we got.
Oh, I have just the thing, Wanderer.
Oh, I like those. So there's this one. Which is this? Kazalgar? Oh, they're all. It doesn't actually say which is which. Well, whatever. There's this one. A classic paladin look, actually. Classic paladin colors. That's actually pretty solid, except for the helmet. There we go. Much better. Red is Gundergar's. That makes perfect sense. Oh, it actually says right here. So gold is Dornagal. Okay, so hang on. That would make silver Greywald. Oh, that's solid too. I'm not going to go with that personally, but I like that emerald. Look at that. Emerald and like a really, really polished, almost titanium. That's a really light metal. No, that's cool. And then, of course, your classic gold. That looks really solid, too. Look at that. Nice violet amethyst combined with really, really deep purple. And then that blinding gold. Yeah, gold and purple. I noticed that we've got both of those there. That is a solid look. I'm actually torn. Yeah, no, that's a nice set. That's a deserves a positive by itself set. Yeah, and this is the most recent heritage. So we are once again spoiled. Let's do you for Prot. Let's get rid of the helmet. Can we do any other helmet that might work better? Like the eye patch. No. The helmet of... Actually, that fits better than I thought it would. Look at that. That legitimately fits better than I thought it would. No, I agree. That's why I'm debating. No, silver doesn't work there. So hang on. So if we pull that out, which is pretty much the Judgment Shield. I like this sword. I've been actually looking to use this sword for a while. It's got a lot more detail than it looks like at first glance. You see the runes on the blade? But I agree that we need more red. This is honestly too far back at this point. What is this? Oh, right. No, I feel like this is just right for an earthen. Yeah, the shame of it is I don't really have a gemstone shield equivalent, at least not anything modern. What the hell hell's this from? Sorry, Magister. No, this just feels right. The only thing I don't like about this is it's not quite the right gold. Oh, it's from Remix. Okay. Now, hang on. So, Magister mentioned an idea. Ah, unfortunately, it's silver. I wish I could just change the gem to ruby. But no, we got to keep that gold. I hope it'll stick to landing. I really do feel like I'm just kind of holding my breath when it comes to WoW's quality right now. No, I like that too much. You know what I might do? No, it's not going to work either. In Ardenweald, they're like, where did he go? Hang on. I just got some new armor. There we go. The chest was bothered because it's a vest thing, right? Because your beard is kind of supposed to be covering it. But actually having that chest there. So I think Judgment Helmet, Judgment Chest, the Chains Belt, that shield, whatever that's from, and the Legion Mace. And on the back, the cloak is wrong. Why is the cloak wrong? Where'd the cloak go? Oh, the cloak was part of the helmet, wasn't it? We could just get rid of the cloak. I've been getting more and more anti-cloak in my transmog in my old age. I remember back in the day having a really long cloak was like a huge deal, and now it's just like, eh. Oh, it was part of the chest piece. Yeah, it tracks. Perfect! Thought about this, but rain. Oh, you mean this? I wish it was either the right gold or complemented one of the other colors, because that's just the wrong bronze. I think for now we'll just straight up go with no cloak. What do you think? What do you think? That's true, yeah, we have the skirt helping out a bit. Yeah, commit.
Farewell, friend of the Grummles.
And here's what that looks like in action. Oh, hey, Braven. Hi. It looks better from the front than the back. I might have to put that gear back on. Because that chest piece just looks kind of wrong from the back, doesn't it? It looks great from the front.
Smell.
Yes, this is what that looks like on a female earthen. There it is. Let's just try this out really quick. Just see what it looks like.
Good fortune to all.
Well, yeah, because, no, what's weird, a lot of people design their transmog from the front, and for good reasons. But I always design my transmog from the back, because this is what I see the most. And in motion, that gear works a little bit better. What do you think? And yeah, it's also worth noting that under different lighting and while zoomed out, the gear doesn't look completely off. I lost Brigwin. She was right here and I lost her. Oh, there she is. Yes, if you want to see what it looks like on a female earthen. There you go. What? There you go. See? Man, she's got rock hard abs. All right, we're done. No, I like it. I like it. All right, let's get out of here. We've got our drip. We've got our spec. We've got our mount. You could carve a sword on. You could sharpen a sword on those things. I dig those abs. The Dragon Isles. Go to hell. Oh, right. Wrong way. This way. One of the pseudo stone giants in my own oh god, we're back in hell. In my own setting, they like essentially acidic food because they're mostly stone giants, so that acidity actually translates as flavor to them. Most normal people, it just burns, like melts your tongue off. You gotta be careful around that. Now, if you're crazy, no, exactly. It's essentially spice. And of course, there's variants. Different types of caustic materials. What is that? Huh. Different caustic materials result in different flavors. Yep. We have a nice armor. We have a nice mount. We have a nice spec. Yes, Uthor. And of course, not every Entethan, or not Entethan, excuse me. Fijian, oh god, I can't remember their freaking name, has the same preferences when it comes to that, or tolerances. Just like in real life, some people cannot do spicy food. Now, I have extreme spice tolerance to the point where I have actually offered food to someone else saying, don't worry, there's no spice, and they have had to go and get something to recover from it from. That's not bragging. I actually consider that a bad thing. I have so much spice tolerance, it's kind of crazy. If I'm not crying, I'm not enjoying it, I'm just saying. Yeah, I know people who think black pepper is spicy. No judgment. You know the joke, right? White bread is too spicy. I don't know anyone that bad. Actually, yeah. You might be right, Blake Duvall. Interestingly enough, my sense of smell has gotten much better. Like, way better since, there it is. I'm experience locked, right? Yes, I am. Okay, good. Since the surgery.
Night embrace you.
The time has come. Where were you? Where were you? Don't worry, time dilation. The rich... Actually, that means it was probably like hours. The ritual will be complete when you fully enter the spirit's dreams. It'll be as if you are her in every aspect. She relives the moment of her death over and over again. It torments her. Something about how she ended. She had no control of her actions. She hurt the ones she loved. Speak to when you're ready to immerse herself in the nightmare's end.
It's time. Enter the spirit's nightmare and bring her peace.
Yeah, so I actually know 2 people who hadn't figured out who this was until this quest. And I could see that. Most of the other stuff is more there for people who are paying attention and are more familiar with the story. This lays it out pretty coherently. Deja vu. Ysera was always a T-Rex. It explains everything.
It begins again. The pain and agony. The madness beyond measure.
This temple must burn. For the great dark gods of N'Zoth!
Forgive me, children.
It's
My
Coda.
actions, they are not my own.
Wow, he's got some health. Look at that. For the jailer!
This has me by the throat. I must abandon my beloved and subdue.
Hey, look, it's us! No, seriously, look. We're literally labeled hero down there.
This is your end, mortals.
And I put on a good transmog for it, too.
Done.
Not while I still draw breath.
Die past me. Oh my god, I killed myself. I've killed the hero. No! You've created a time paradox. Oh, I'm back! I'm back, look! That is a nice touch, though, that we're right there fighting us.
Are you truly lost, Gisera? After all we have built, all we have done?
Do what you must, dear friend. It is the only way.
By the light of Elune, we will end this madness!
My time draws near. I feel her embrace.
It's a robot! Sorry. Still a good scene. Ah! It's... Error. Time paradox. Error. So, yeah. I'll talk about that in just a sec, because I feel like there's going to be some voice acting. Okay, so... Several people have said we don't know where dragons go when they die. And that is still true. Even as of Dragonflight, which really fleshed out dragons as a culture and as a people, we still don't actually know what happens to dragons when they die. Now, granted, the Shadowlands is soft canon, and honestly probably doesn't even exist. But that is still a persistent thing. The argument everyone's been using for literal weeks, as I keep bringing that point up, is that, well, hang on, one dragon went to the afterlife. No. Ysera was deliberately and personally grabbed by Elune, and then dragged into Ardenweald. Effectively treated like a Loa. Now, I could see that. The aspects are functionally Loa, so sure. But the point is, this is clearly a special exception. Everything about that cutscene and the quest chain we've been doing indicates that. In fact, they'll reinforce this in just a bit.
Dreams are
And yeah, remember,
things.
this is Ardenweald, which is functionally the death reflection of the Emerald Dream.
Take care.
What a terrible end for a majestic spirit, but that's why she was connected with you. Because you're of the same world. Yeah, we also killed her. I don't know if you caught that. That was us, canonically.
Hey! Everyone listen!
What,
We're
Navi?
not the only ones who witnessed that nightmare. The Drust are approaching as we speak.
So nice to see you.
It would make sense as Maristar. That dream, teeth, claws, heart. Heart-wrenching sacrifice. Sorry. While we were in Dreamland, possessed spies have snuck into the Hibernal Hollow. They must be hunted down and slain before they can report back to the girl's defenses. Here, borrow my magic. Seek out the ones hidden in the shadow and smite them.
I can't wait to see what you do next.
It was a mercy kill, let's be very clear, but the point remains. Of course we're connected to her. We're the ones that ended her life.
Ardenweald will belong to the Masters!
Yeah, we killed Ursoc too. Another mercy kill. The number of Loa that we kill that are anything other than mercy kill is extremely small. You ever think about that? Loa can be corrupted or converted or warped or twisted or whatever, but it's extremely rare that they're just straight up evil and therefore we have to deal with them. Like we had Hakar. Yeah. I'm having trouble coming up with a second one, actually. Yeah, no, Shadra didn't qualify. Remember, we showed up trying to help Shadra. At least in BFA. Now, back in Vanilla, she was just a giant spider thing. So I don't know if that counts for anything. Like, Shadra might as well not even be in Vanilla and Kata. Let's just be honest about that. We haven't met him yet, Papanix. We'll talk about him later. You know, honestly, Lord Harrimont actually has a legitimately valid point. If the Loa of Death isn't evil... In fact, just to be very clear about it, the only truly evil Loas we've encountered are the previous Loa of Death, we'll talk about him later, and the Loa of Blood. Now, interestingly enough, both of them share one common trait. They demanded non-stop sacrifices to the detriment of their own followers. I wouldn't count Gahoon. Gahoon is admittedly a little bit of an asterisk situation. Because Gahoon's technically an old god, but not a full old god and not a natural old god. It could very easily be argued that Gahoon was a Loa of corruption. It's kind of getting into a gray territory thanks to its nature.
In nature, all are one.
These Drust are very bold to send spies into my grave. Very bold and very foolish.
Night embrace you. For Queen, take the horn, sound the call, and summon the hunt.
Come on.
The hunt did not heed the call? That does not bode well.
No, it doesn't. Gondor calls for aid, and then Rohan doesn't answer. 'Cause, 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 I really like this suit. I can enjoy it even at a distance, too. This was a really solid choice. Sorry. I like looking cool. What do you want from me? I've liked looking cool since Final Fantasy 1. Or Mega Man 2. What? Am I the only person who would use cool-looking weapons in Mega Man games just because they look cool?
Ardenweald needs your strength.
The Wild Hunt rides to our aid, but not from the west. That's where Hunt Captain Corrin was tracking a dangerous foe. She and her hunting party must have been waylaid.
The darkness must
The
wait.
Wild Hunt has answered the call except for Captain Corlin. You just said this! She has led her hunting party to the west. You just said that! To hunt a powerful foe. You just...
Night embrace you.
Moving on. Me and my sister used to spend literal days, usually chatting with each other. You know, like sitting next to each other or on a call with each other.
I see your hunt goes well, mortal.
Making transmog sets. That was back before this was a thing. This wonderful, wonderful interface. So making transmog suits was kind of a thing, right? Like it took a lot of time and effort and research to figure out what you liked, what it looked like, where it dropped from, etc.
Speak clear and true.
These Drust thought to send us force to strike us from behind. Your call brought my fellow huntsmen and huntresses to reinforce us. Our foes were the ones caught by surprise.
Always hit your mark.
Lorcan is here. I tracked him all the way from Glittering Falls. Then I saw the Drust try to flank our forces. I'd say they're a bit surprised we turned our table on them. You just said this. With me, to defend the grove.
For the Winter Queen.
But, okay.
Wild Hunt, with me, for Ardenweald.
Best set I've ever made? There are 2. If you want, I'll show them to you. They were the product of a lot of time and effort, both of them. Technically, I've probably made better sets since then, but those 2 are the ones I'm most proud of. Remind me when we get back to Oribos. That'll be a quick and easy swap spot.
In nature, all are one.
This is where we make our stand. The Drust and their minions nearly have us overrun, but we will not let them destroy the Hollow. Nor will they take our anima or our seeds.
The darkness must wane.
The good news is we're pretty close to Oribos. This is pretty much the finale right here.
Aim true and strike down our prey.
I'll heal your wounds. Keep fighting.
But what if I don't want to fight? I want a builder game in Warcraft. Okay, that sounds like a joke, but actually I 100% unironically want a builder game or 3 in Warcraft. There's so much possibility for that kind of gameplay, combos you can do with all kinds of unique mechanics and just general cool stuff. Swap those. Can we put that there? A mobile game and a Hearthstone expansion. Perfect. I'd like Uthor to be executed immediately, please.
Welcome.
Overwatch 3. This time it doesn't suck, we swear. Why do so many of these not count? Oh, they do. They're just tooltips are being weird. Maybe if I...
A great danger looms. Come to me, and together we will face it.
Let's friggin' do it.
Ardenweald.
Their anima will feed our victory. Leave their huts to rot.
I still think this should have been the Devourers. The Devourers charging this area because there's a ton of anima here just makes so much sense. As is, I'm just sitting here thinking, why are these a threat to us? I mean, I get it. It's because there's a drought. Yeah, I wouldn't call a Cathraxia Loa, personally. Let's not get too random with our definitions.
Alio, look! Oh no! The wild seed. I no longer sense its dreams.
Unless we save her soon, she will be lost forever.
Now, the first Lich King, ironically, by the setting's definitions, is an abomination, aka a chimera, which is doubly funny because so is the second and third Lich Kings.
Welcome to my grove.
We have won the battle, but I fear we've lost Ysera.
For Queen and Grove.
Be gentle. She's almost gone.
I'm sorry. Did you need something?
We have lost so much, and this one is special. She looks at you resolute. Her voice strangely formal. Her manner commanding. Come, we will carry on the path of rebirth and entreat the Queen to save her. Hurry and make preparations, we have little time.
Always a pleasure.
I think part of the point here, obviously Ysera is important to us, and we are important to them.
Your voice is but one bird singing in the night. Well, I think it's time we all sang with you.
But I think it's also partially because of the fact that they have already lost so many recently. The thought of losing another one, after everything they've been through, would be the last straw. You'll notice they repeat the trick of Ursoc here, by the way. Because just like with Ursoc, we killed her. So if the player cares at all, they are already invested. I do, Lord Harriman. I do not require it of you. She's been in the game since Kata, referenced since vanilla.
Moonberry, here to play more tricks? Or are serious matters at hand?
Matters most serious, I'm afraid. Lord Hearn, we request an audience with the Winter Queen.
My oath is to the forest entire.
Well met, stranger. You arrive in interesting times, and with equally interesting company.
Night embrace you.
Much of the Queen's focus has centered on the Grove of Awakening, where rejuvenated spirits emerge to return to their worlds. Perhaps it's fitting you carry a wounded spirit with you. This one fights with all her being. Even now she clings to existence. Come, stranger. Let us see what fate the Queen will decree for this one.
My queen, please help us.
This is of my sister. Why have you brought it to me?
This one is slipping away.
Our duty is grim. Many have been lost. Why would I save her pet?
Those who have dreamed by its side awaken with a joy and peace that whispers of wonder. If she dies, then all that is Emerald dies with her.
Some must be sacrificed, but some must be saved. If we forget that, all that will remain will be empty shells and sorrow.
Ignore this. None of this is happening. Ignore this. We're just time traveling again. It's fine. It's fine.
The stars turn. The cycle continues.
Look, I broke time earlier when I killed myself in my other cell. It's fine. It's fine. That is actually part of the Covenant campaign, so we're not going to see that for a minute, Revendreth.
Come what may, we must fulfill our duty.
How curious to see someone like you in my forest.
I awaken once again, but in a world not my own.
You are reborn in Ardenweald, child of dreams. To this realm are you bound, and you will share its fate.
So, nope, we're skipping it just for you, Lunareth. Guys, sorry, we can't do the Ardenweald Covenant campaign now. Lunareth has commanded it. So did you catch that, right? Hello, Evo. In case you didn't catch that, the Winter Queen, she's very pragmatic, very cold fish, appropriately enough. The only reason she even did this was because now Ysera is bound here. She's basically recruited her. Now, that's good. Ysera is absolutely going to help and all that, but notice how it's essentially demanded. I will save your life, and now that you were incapable of saying no to this bargain, you are now bound to me. And that is very Winter Queen. However, she did bother to reach out and save her, and she sacrificed her own anima to do so, which, as you saw, was not an insubstantial amount. Even a single leaf fallen from something like that is not an insubstantial cost. So, yeah, I got a message for you. Could you shut up with the fighting over there? We're the Trust, and we're gonna conquer you. Oh, yuck! Fucking yokels. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yokels of the Shadowlands.
I grant you an audience.
So I got a message for you from the Primus.
My old friend, after countless ages, our worst fears have come to pass. If the Banished One stirs, then we face a danger even more grave than this crippling drought. Come, mortal, join me at my court, and stand before the heart of the forest. There we shall speak further.
Look at the crowd. Look at all the people who gathered to watch. Ignore this. Ignore this. This isn't happening. It's not here. It's not here. It's not here. Okay. Hello, Zara. Oh yeah, Evo. We lost her. He's gone. Now you'll notice, yeah, this is...
I have just the thing.
I have several issues with the overall arc of Shadowlands, but let's zoom the camera way out for a second. First thing we saw was the freaking Maw, and it was exactly as horrifying as it should be. Next thing, Oribos. That sucked. Moving on. Bastion, right? Quiet horror. And a showcasing of how broken the afterlife is, followed by an attack from the Scourge, except not the Scourge. Once we go through here, we find out that the Shadowlands are divided and there's all kinds of internecine fighting going on. The second time we've seen that. In both Valhalla and the Elysium Fields, stuff be bad, yo. Come to Ardenweald, and that intro was perfect. We land in a nice, beatific, wonderful place, and immediately find out that it's actually completely screwed, and it's barely holding on. Of course the drought is destroying a forest. It's been awful, dark, dark, and then we come here, and this happens. And even if you don't particularly care about Ysera, which is your privilege, of course, this is the first positive beat in the story, which is good, because the next zone is freaking Revendreth. Hang on. Think about it. Think about if Ardenweald was just ejected from this arc. You went straight from Bastion to Maldraxxus to Revendreth. Sorry, it's actually worse than that. The Maw, Bastion, Maldraxxus, Revendreth. Yay! Anyways, Evo. See if I can find a spot. This is probably as much light as I'm going to get. What do you think? There we go. That's good. That's good. Sorry, let me actually pull that out there. It's not what I would call perfect. I feel like I could tinker with it more, but I didn't want to waste too much time on camera. But I'm really happy with this. I also decided on a mount for my Earthen. So this is going to be Horde Runner's mount henceforth.
The drought beleaguered. The heart of the forest is vital to Ardenweald.
Wow, I haven't seen it like this in a long time.
To the protection of the realms beyond. Long ago, we drew upon its magic to ensure the Maw would be inescapable, that the Banished One would remain forever bound. The drought has caused the heart to wither. Its strength must be bolstered. Though we have precious little anima to save our waning groves. An impossible choice. Yet one that must be made for the good of the cycle. Ardenweald would hear your plea.
Dire portents indeed. I've used what little animal we possess to save our groves and the spirits they nurture. So many lives were lost, all as the heart of the forest grew ever weaker. Keeping the Banished One bound within the Maw will require more anima than Ardenweald can spare. Sire Denathrius is a master of anima extraction. Journey to Revendreth and inform him of our plight. Oh, hey, we're going to Revendreth.
Your path leads onward, mortal. Know that you have gained an ally in me, and in Ardenweald.
Hi, Disco. I say to Disco from an hour from now. Oh, there you go. Let's say hello.
Where do we strike?
Well? Oh, right, because I don't have the Covenant. So I have to use the outside flight path. I forgot that was even a thing.
Growth is the nature of all things.
Also, as a strange comment, if we just kind of the rest of Shadowlands out of existence and keep Ardenweald, it still fits surprisingly well with both Legion and Dragonflight. Hear me out for a second. Ysera goes on to become a member of the Ardenweald, of the Emerald, of the Death Dream? Of the Shadowlands reflection of the dream. So she is still part of the dream, she's just part of another expression of the dream. Merithria? She goes ahead and she continues on in the living dream. Yeah, the winter dream. That's actually a really, really good term for it. I always feel like it should be Merithria. I don't know why. So yeah, what you just saw, Blade Traval, was probably the peak of Shadowlands. By memory, the next zone has some good stuff. But we know how bad my memory is, especially when I should probably mention, and I've talked about this before, I didn't even fully finish the MSQ the very first time I came through here, because I was just very done with Shadowlands. So, very influenced. I love the concepts of Revendreth, and I want to punch a lot of people there, so that counts for something. There's a lot of people out here, wow. Oh, right, because seasons.
Trust in the...
Would you like to skip the campaign? Hey, you can skip the campaign. Do you want it? I've got 5 skip campaign buttons right here. Only $5.99. They're all you. I'll give you 1 campaign skip for free, but the rest you gotta pay for.
Your path is chosen.
Revendreth is quite possibly the most efficient realm at extracting anima. Perhaps they can lend aid where others cannot. Know that while souls sometimes return from Revendreth, they are never the same when they do. It is a dark realm, where those the Arbiter deems worthy are a chance of redemption are sent. The path, however, is not an easy one. Kasher will assist you in opening the gateway to Revendreth. Okay.
Until we speak again.
I can't do aristocratic. The best I can do is coating in chocolate icing. Yeah, that's about all I got. And that gets irritating in like seconds, so I try not to do that. Yeah, the vampires are good at anima. Go figure. That outfit looks cool. Sorry. And yes, direct reference to Hedonism Bot.
What do you...
I regret nothing. Oh, yeah. So, I'm actually going to turn this off just so you can appreciate. So, for those of you who haven't seen Revendreth, do me a favor. Pop over to your second monitor for just a second and actually watch. We're going to go through the tunnel. And then, as always, we get our first shot. Now, all 3 of the zones so far, 4, if we count the moss, first shots have been very well designed. They know where the camera's going to face, and they know exactly what they want to show us right when we pop in. So the portal goes red. Go into the gate. And right here. And this is the very first thing we see. Is this giant, gloomy castle in the fog in the distance. Bats hovering right above us. And ruins and a graveyard. This is our first shot of Revendreth. Look at that sky for a second. It's like a blood-tinted sky. And yeah, why is there a graveyard in the afterlife? You're supposed to think of that somewhere in the back of your mind. Why is there a graveyard in the afterlife? And the answer is, there isn't.
Master! Master! The creature has arrived!
This one looks... funny. That is because they're still alive, I think. Don't be insensitive. Welcome, damn soul, to Revendreth. Your last hope at redemption. Right this way, and we'll get you sorted.
No, Zara. Although yes, but also no. So, can I just say, I forget what these guys are called, but the little guys is voice acting, the Dredger, thank you. Whoever decided that that should be the accent for the Dredgers deserves a freaking raise.
You've been followed.
It's so perfect for the Castlevania vibe in general, and but it also is a great contrast to the far more aristocratic voices that most of the upper Revendrethian citizens tend to have. Instead, you have something right down here. Kind of just sounds a little bit more working class, don't it? Right? It's a great contrast, and it does perfectly fit with what they're going for here. Yeah, they're still living. Don't be insensitive. Welcome, welcome, damned soul. Yeah, it's this wonderfully delightful cockney. So for the state of things, usually a Revendreth would be here to greet you. Been a little while since we saw anyone come through the gate. All good now, as I know a welcome speech better than a good morning whipping. Okay, I'm going to say that without the accent in case you missed that. I know the welcome speech better than a good morning whipping.
Be a brick, and don't tell them mean bosses I ain't assigned a gig.
Well, you ain't like the others. Usually you're supposed to be dead before you come here. Ah, well, a sin's a sin, a stone's a stone, as it goes. Let's get you sorted with your sin stone. This way, if you please.
Heroes. As a newly arrived soul, you should know this is a place of torment and penance. Not to fear, though, for as you can see by these many sin stones, the road to redemption is possible. Each of these sin stones represents a soul who has come to this place and cleansed themselves of their sins, eventually moving on from here or accepting the role of a Revendreth.
Game. So, I think I have a moment to talk, because they seem to be doing nothing. One of the things I love about the idea of sin stones and a graveyard... Hear me out for a second. Gravestones in real life are supposed to be monuments to the dead, right? Now, obviously honoring, recognizing the dead, but ultimately, at the end of the day, what are they? If we really crucible down what a gravestone is, what it is a marker of loss, of sorrow, of failure, right? This is a thing marking that something bad has happened. Sin stones are the total opposite of that. When you successfully, a sin stone is a joyous thing. When you successfully manage to plant your sin stone in the graveyard, it's because you won. It's because you did it. You managed to turn it around. You managed to redeem yourself from whatever ill deeds you did in life, and you are now going on to something better. And that is such a wonderful subversion. Yeah, your sin is dead. You get to keep going.
This wretched place is beneath my station.
So this is a zealous soul. I made the choices no one else would. Now I know why they wouldn't.
Leave me!
This is a tyrant soul. I make no mistake... I make no apologies for how I ruled my people. I did what had to be done. If that means I spend centuries here, then so be it. Okay. Here upon the record... Here now we record the deeds of the dead upon a canvas of stone. The burdens of a soul hardened by regret, the dark paths chosen, are things wrought through time and can often appear eternal to mortals, but those who are eternal know that even letters chiseled in stone will fade, and even deeds believed unforgivable atoned for. Oh yeah, by the way, each of these areas has kind of a motif. We had the angelic thing over in Bastion, the rotting corpse scavenging thing in Maldraxxus, the wilds and woods of Ardenweald. Here, obviously you could say it's Gothic architecture, but actually, no. It's stone. A huge amount of this place runs around the idea of stone, both literally and thematically, if you missed the frickin' gargoyles over there. I'll talk more about why I think that is in a minute, but it is a very common thing throughout the whole of Revendreth.
Huh. Thought you'd be more fleshy.
Yeah, even the Revendreth actually have stone flesh. What I mean stone thematically? Well, okay, let me read this one more time, J. Palmer. Come on, game. There we go. Things wrought through time can often appear eternal to mortals, but those who are eternal know that even letters chiseled in stone will fade, and even deeds believed unforgivable can be atoned for. We often like to use the phrase cut in stone to refer to something that is truly eternal. But anybody who really thinks about that will know it is not. And it also perfectly encapsulates, I don't want to spoil too much, the villain of this zone, who definitely seems to be the kind of person who is absolutely chiseling everything in this zone after his image, because he's a gigantic egoist. And just like stone, that's been wearing down over time.
Final judgment comes from the Master. It is he who commands this place. It is he who embraces souls to become Venthia, the tormentors and eaters of sin.
Sin eaters? I love their walk animation. Yeah. How much of an egomaniac is he? One of the first things a new soul sees when they first enter Revendreth is a statue of him. Even the Winter Queen, who is clearly the central pillar of Ardenweald, does not have the ego that asshole does. Sire Denathrius, Master of Revendreth, King of Venthir, First-Blooded, Commander of the Stoneborn, Fangs of the Shadowlands, behold his greatness and weep, for it is by his grace that all you see before you exists. Jesus Christ! Ego is such a perfect word for that jackass. Hang on. I need to write some thoughts down here. I don't know. Revendreth is kind of a tricky one. As weird as it sounds, I think it's kind of down to what we decide to do with the jailer. I have several ideas, and none of them compete, so I need to chop down and figure out which one I want to go with. But I have a lot of ideas, and it's relevant, because who and what the jailer is kind of helps inform what Denathrius is. I know that sounds strange. So, we'll get there. Can we move on?
There are always those few who are unwilling to work for redemption, or don't agree with their sin stone, or are simply just a bunch of bad apples. Oh, those get the boot. Down to the moor, never to come back. Take this poor soul, for example. He's on his final warning. Won't even admit he did something wrong. Still thinks he's someone important.
I do also like this idea, as weird as it sounds, because frankly, every now and again, someone is just plain wrong. Every now and again, there's someone who will not admit that they are horrible, that they are awful, that they are evil, that they have done wrong. Redemption, as I like to quote, is not for everyone. Redemption should be offered, ideally, but redemption has to be accepted.
Darkest greetings.
These souls are so close to their final judgment that they're hemorrhaging manifestations regularly that are getting more and more dangerous. We need more souls, fresh souls, to meet the quota that the Master and the Tithe Lord are asking for. I'm sorry, pause. They have someone... Why would it have to be earned, J. Palmer? They have someone who is named the Tithe Lord.
Count your sins. Before...
Hold, creatures. This is a guest, not a charge.
Quick! Make yourself presentable. Lord Chamberlain is here.
Will this torment never end?
Let's go meet the tax man.
May I help you? I serve the Master.
And yes, that's Cam Clark again.
Welcome to Revendreth. Sire Denathrius looks forward to me introducing you. I serve the Master. Are you getting snooty with me? Sire Denathrius will hear of this disrespect. Know your place, mortal. You have few allies in this realm. Welcome to Revendreth.
Oh, I'm completely with you, Scion, and I did give it a negative. Oh yeah, while we're here.
Oi! You, supposed to be in Revendreth? Got a gig for me? Here for sweat or knuckles? Oi! Here for sweat or knuckles? You, supposed to be in Revendreth? Got a gig for me?
Okay, he doesn't have any piston nines.
Huh? Which bosses sent you? Oi! I'm always getting bigger. How you're doing? Like if someone's left eye to see the realms you've seen. You a builder or a breaker? Mind who you point at. I am destined for great things. I'm not long for this dump. You'll see. One day, I plan to be a thief of the realms. A veritable villain of incredulity. A bang-up bad guy with clout, coin, and a cadre of cohorts.
Oh my god. So, Cudgelface is Jim Cummings.
You, supposed to be in Revendreth?
Rendell.
Stick with me. You know Heroing, but I know Revendreth.
Is freaking Reed. Hang on, hang on. Yeah, that's Dominic Keating. I don't think I ever caught that before.
You being followed? Stick with me. You know Heroing, but I know Revendreth. Oi! Like if someone's left eye to see the realms you've seen. Mind who you point at. I am destined for great things.
Yeah, you could hear it there once you really listen to him for a minute. Also, I love his little quote there. I'd give someone's left eye to see the worlds you've seen. Yeah, that explains the accent.
May I help you? Rumors regarding the drought? Oh, woefully overstated.
Yes, of course, there is no drought. Oh god, I don't know if I could take that kind of flagrant lying about reality right now. Okay, let's just push through this.
Give no credence.
I forgot that was a plot thread in Revendreth. There's no drought. Remember, we just came here from freaking Ardenweald. After Maldraxxus, after Bastion. There's no drought. The great Sire Denathrius, Master of Revendreth, King of the Venthyr, has asked me, his loyal chamberlain, to escort you safely to his personal gardens. This is an honor never before bestowed upon a living mortal. You should feel honored. Come, join me in the carriage, and we shall ride to the castle in style.
Come, mortal. Let us away from this place.
I mean, there is a lot of anime usage for purely cosmetic reasons around here. Cough, cough. Nah, gloves are off at this point, Disco. Screw it. You have a problem with me or any of my opinions? Doors over there.
You have heard of the anima drought plaguing our reality? We face this challenge with dignity and remain united behind the Master. Revendreth remains resolute.
Yeah, this is polemic year. We're just there. That's just where life is right now. Oh, sorry.
Lord Chamberlain, there's a commotion up ahead. Looks like a fight.
Rebels. Just drive either over or through them. They would not dare to... What in the name of the Master?
This mortal will not become another puppet of the Master.
Love you, Draven.
He is your master too, traitor! Release us at once!
As you command, Lord Chamberlain.
I'll be fine. I'm a paladin. And an earthen. Yeah, look, it's right there. Divine Shield. I got this, yo. So, God, you know how we went in Ardenweald from the lush forest to the drying, desiccated forest? Well, here we go from the graveyard and the rocks and the Gothic architecture down into the muck. There's this thing, you can actually see it on the map, although you probably didn't actually catch it the first time, that runs through Revendreth, right? It's this purple thing circling around the zones, almost like a moat. But moat is probably the wrong word. Sewer might be a better word. This is the Endmire. And it is aptly named.
Huh? Which bosses sent you?
Oh, good. Still not dead yet. I can't actually do proper Cockney. Bear with me, please. You see a little old Chamberlain or Cudgel-faced London?
Yeah, mind yourself.
Oh, this is bad, real bad.
Real extra dangerous.
Oh, every time one of them lads comes down here, they don't make it back. Things that come down here, they sort of stay down here, one way or the other. Let's make a deal. You're a mole walker. You go find Cudgel-face and the Chamberlain. Well, I get this here carriage back in service, and we'll get out of here before something tries to eat us, and then go to work on us.
That's all right. You go find the lads, and I'll get this carriage back in a riding shape, eh? And try not to get ate.
Not really, Lucifer. At least not the way they call it. All cats go to Revendreth. We don't ask questions. And yeah, for some reason, Blanchy did something. We're not sure what. The actual quote, lads. Come on. I need a sentence leading up to the lads. I can't say it right without a sentence leading into it. In life, Blanchy appeared to be an affectionate, well-behaved horse of excellent disposition and appetite. What evils must she have committed in secret to have earned her a place amongst the condemned souls of Revendreth? Notice the music immediately goes...
Over here!
Immediately goes from, you know, boo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo-doo, and goes down into just, you know, horrifying, creepy death doom. Also, notice there's a bunch of mites down here, a.k.a. Devourers.
What adventure do you need me for today?
Hello, Nadia. A mortal in Revendreth. Well, well, well. You are primed to be at the head of high adventure. The name, you may call me, is Nadia the Mistblade, and if I may be so humble to say, I am the finest duelist that has ever wielded a sword. This trap you found me in was a lesson learned in getting paid in advance. Release me and my blade is yours to command for as long as I find you interesting. Do we have an accord?
Do let me know if you come across anything challenging. Yes! Free at last! Come, my new friend. Let us bring ruin upon something. Anything! You are so refreshingly fresh. Devourers. They are chewing at the foundation of our realm. I have never seen so many.
Yeah, that reminds me. I actually meant to show this off in Ardenweald. If you look down here in the southwest, you'll notice how even on the map it looks a little bit more pockmarked. Yeah, when they say that the Devourers are eating at the land, they're not joking. The land just is kind of slowly being consumed by them and falling apart as a consequence. And in fact, if you look at the edges, I think it's like up here, of most of these zones, you will see something similar. And I think they're down here somewhere. I actually don't remember where they are in Bastion. They're somewhere in Bastion. I don't remember where. Oi, you! Not sure what landed you in the Endmire, but I need your help. See these torches? It's me gig to keep them lit, but it ain't like they run on flint and tinder. My stash of infused rubies got hauled off by some Devourers when my back was turned. Can you find them before we both get eaten by one of these horrors? Okay, I guess. You know, I could see that as Miristar. I know what you meant. I also love the ashen flowers that are bleeding out red down here. Lovely visuals. Remember, more so than any other realm, this realm was made this way very deliberately by its extremely egotistical master. I also find it interesting, the game tries to start us off with that, like right out of the bat.
I don't want to get ate!
Did you catch that? Like, first thing that happens, right off the bat, why are you flying? Ugh, vampires. Is, hey, come meet the local Eternal One. It's like, no, we're good. And we're actually not going to meet him for a little bit longer. As a consequence of that.
It is quite good to see you.
That was fun. I've not felt so alive in centuries. Everything about you is just different and invigorating. I can continue to assist you until you're ready to leave the Endmire, but then we'll need to part ways for a time. I have some unfinished business regarding someone who put me in a cage.
A blade is a tool.
You do you.
Skill is in the hand that wields it.
Your boss there.
The Mistblade graces us with her presence. And what cage did our Marwalker here let you out of?
Oh, you know me. A different age, a different cage.
I'm sad that you lived, Cam Clark.
Sire Denathrius looks forward to me introducing you.
Now you get to see the true cost of the anima drought. It is wasting this place away, consuming it, allowing these infested creatures to pass into our lands. I do hope you are as talented a warrior as your fame proclaimed.
Trust in the Master's plan.
Oh, I know, Huthor. That line is brilliantly written. By the way, if you're wondering, they all float. They're vampires. Of course they float. Like, for once, that's not a bug. And I have to clarify that because we've had floating NPCs several times now. Yeah, we've had floating PCs. I don't know about Denathrius. I kind of hope he doesn't, but we'll see, I suppose. There's gonna be... I just want to be clear on this. I hate this gig. Much obliged. These torches keep the effects of the Inmire at bay. Even scares away the Devourers for a moment. Only lasts so long, though. Oh, I miss the good old days of only having to worry about manifestations down here. Yeah, we were getting a lot of stacks there. Just being down here gives you a stacking debuff, which increases the shadow damage you take. But being near the torches helps mitigate it. Oh, I guarantee you Eridicron's gonna come back. I'm not sure about Denathrius. Rendell?
You a builder or a breaker?
Good. No one got eight. Carriage is ready to go when you are.
Yeah, don't trust anything with wings.
Right, lads. All aboard.
When you get 8, them fancy shoes of yours in mine.
When you get 8, those fancy shoes of yours are mine, is what he just said.
Be on your guard. Draven and his lackeys may still be lurking nearby. Draven is one of the few remaining leaders of a failed rebellion. There are those disloyal Venthyr and Stoneborn who believe the Master is responsible for the anima drought. Such heresy.
Visually? Well, ironically, I actually keep track of that kind of thing, so I can tell you right now.
Let us proceed on foot. I do not fancy being flung off a cliff again.
At the moment, Ardenweald is firmly in the lead. But I haven't reviewed Revendreth yet, but it's probably going to be Revendreth second, and then Bastion third. And Maldraxxus a distant fourth. And then Oribos down in the gutter.
May I help you?
Oh, actually, I need to... Hang on 1 second. The Maw? We'll get to. I haven't actually reviewed it yet, visually.
Revendreth is resolute. Rumors regarding the drought? Oh, woefully overstated.
Right, so Devours are going to start creeping out of the Endmire soon. And with the Anima drought putting a squeeze on the Fangs, well, we ain't getting help from them before until it's too late. Us dredgers could use someone in your line of work. Professional destroyer, as it were. If you can spare the time, meet us out of the Dredgewood. We'll scoop up a couple of lads and see if we can't make a stand.
This drought's gonna be the end of all of us.
The Maw's going to be pretty high up there too, but I don't think it's going to beat Ardenweald. The only zone, and I mean this, that I think... There's only 2 zones I think beat Ardenweald in terms of sheer design. That is Emir Drasil in Dragonflight, and the 4th zone in War Within.
I serve the Master.
This is not some simple raid or protest. These Stoneborn mean to steal the anima this convoy was carrying. That anima was destined to be tithed to the Master. There is a drought on, and we cannot let these vagabonds and the miscreants steal our hard-earned anima. Recover the tithe, if you can, and I will see to your notoriety.
Give no credence to the rumors of rebellion.
This is unacceptable. The Stoneborn rebels have ambushed a convoy intended for the Tithe Lord. He's a local harvester who rules this ward. We need to get through this mess. The bridge on the far side of this conflict leads to Darkhaven. The Master typically keeps some of his own Stone Legion there. Carve us a way through Marwalka. Destroy any who would delay us. We must not keep Sire Denathrius waiting.
Trust in the Master's plan. You, with the ugly face. Ride the carriage off in a different direction as a distraction. Mortal, we should split up to avoid being an easier target. Try not to die.
No promises. Stoneborn rebels have left behind recruiting pamphlets. Have to grab those over here. Cudgelface, are you,
Here for sweat or knuckles?
Well, looks like his Lord Chamberlain's ship has a gig for me with no specification on in time. Sounds like I'm going to get to drive this here carriage for as long as nothing with wings or fangs tells me to stop. Keep an eye out for me. You did us dredgers a solid by rescuing me from that devourer, so no matter what happens, we got your back.
Ain't you a lively one?
And this is an actual interesting mechanic for this place. It's kind of like that taxi that was all the way back in Silverpine Forest, except you can get run over by it. Which makes so little sense, Xavion, considering how loyal they are to the jailer and not Denathrius. You ever notice that? I honestly feel like some of the writers forgot that the Dreadlords are supposed to be working for Denathrius and not Zoval. I mean, hell, one of the last bosses in the freaking final raid is a bunch of Dreadlords. I think. Actually, hang on. Let me check that before I say that. No, yep. Really? Yep, there they are. I was right. mean, considering that the loyal to the jailer stuff was towards the end, and honestly, they were probably just trying to cap off as many plot threads as quickly as they possibly could. I get the really strong impression they were trying to just write the Dreadlords out of the narrative. It's just the vibe I got there. Join the prince. Oh, I can actually read these. Oop. My fellow Venthia. Hello?
Where'd you get all them teeth?
Probably J. Palmer. My fellow Venthia, do not believe the lies subjected to you by Sire Denathrith and his loyal ilk. The sycophants who follow the Master do so for power and greed. The very sins we work so tirelessly to expunge from the souls who are sent to us. Rise up, Revendreth. We must overthrow this tyrant who would call himself our master. Oh, and also in WoW.
Oi! More Walker!
Oh, it's a pet battle. That's what that is. Agreed, Scion. I like that quest chain quite a lot, but the fact that it's the frickin' Scarlets was always eyebrow-raising. Like, I get it, sometimes organizations are reborn, even though the old organization fully died, cough cough Nazis, but you get the idea. It still would have worked better if it was, you know, the last holdouts of the Sylvanas loyalists. Purge the rest of those jackasses. Okay, you know why I shouldn't be a quest designer for this game? I would have a quest where we're going and we're trying to stop the, you know, the Sylvanas loyalists. And we're like, listen, you can't follow her. She's evil. And the only thing they say in response is, but her boobs! Have you seen her boobs? And that's it. Do I have to kill you? Looks like I don't. Bye. It's her abs, which you can't even see anymore. I didn't even see a big boy. I didn't see anything. Hang on, where's Craig? Ah! Okay, fine, whatever. Die. Wrong button.
Sire Denathrius looks forward to me introducing you.
Uncouth and vile documents, but written in a rather elegant hand. The prince always had better penmanship than sense.
Revendreth is resolute.
Vile things. Give them to me and I will see them properly disposed of. Here, for your troubles. Perhaps this reward will help wipe the filth of these documents from your fingertips. Oh, hang on, let me
Give no
use this
credence to
spectral
the
handkerchief
rumors
here.
of rebellion.
There we go. Perfectly clean.
Welcome to Revendreth. Trust in the Master's plan.
Well done. Stoneborn require anima to exist. Without it, they return to their stone form. This supply hurt them more than destroying 30 of their rebels.
Rumors regarding the drought? Oh, woefully overstated.
Your talents in combat show promise. Perhaps with a few more centuries and a little humility, and we might make something of you.
Revendreth is resolute. Give no credence to the rumors of rebellion.
Across this bridge is the hamlet of Darkhaven. It is fortified by those loyal to Sire Denathrius. These pitiful rebels would not dare approach it. However, getting to it may prove challenging. Here, I'll carry the anima. You make sure no one throws us back into the Endmire.
Rumors regarding the drought? Oh, woefully overstated.
Oh, sure, thank you. Check it out, Papa Neeks.
And
done.
For a friend of the Grummles.
Ah, Darkhaven. They welcome anyone here. No sense of propriety. At least up in the castle, there is an order as to who is permitted.
Uh-huh. And the fact that he says that like that's a good thing says all it really needs to.
May I help you?
It may not look like it, but this rebellion's on its last leg. Those who stand against the Master are fools who know a new form of pain and suffering.
Trust in the Master.
Stone Legion's not even here yet. Oh, this is an outrage. Do something quickly, the rebels will overrun this filthy hamlet. Here, take this anima. Activate a few of the Stoneborn along the periphery. Take whatever's left to the Quartermaster. Tell her to do a job. I will try to commune with the Master, see if he can send reinforcements.
Revan Stoneborn are fanatically loyal defenders, typically. The rebels have been swayed by pretty rhetoric and lies.
To you, in other words. A lingering menace lurks in Endmire, dangerously close to Darkhaven's border. If alone in your travels, take care to avoid this monstrosity lest it make you meet your true death. Oh, we can permanently die again. Those with a sense of adventure and a well-armed brigade might manage to slay the beast. If so, you'll get a reward. By order of the Taskmaster, the bearer is exempt from 4 anima tithings. Proportionate compensation may be given for the transfer of this writ. You know, that's true, Huthor.
So my watch continues. I await.
What's funny is that was almost assuredly unintentional. Like, you cannot tell me they had that level of coordination on purpose at this point in their history. But you are right.
To the skies.
There's one motif going through all of it, though. It's all broken.
It has been so long since I laid hands on a living mortal. Are you in a rush? Be seeing you.
This is all that remains of our tithe. The Tithe Lord is not one for excuses. We may need to gather a second tithe quickly, or he'll condemn us to the Ember Ward. What's the Ember Ward?
See yourself out. May you rise ever higher.
Unfortunately, the Lord Chamberlain's gift isn't sufficient to cover the entire tithe we're expected to provide the Tithe Lord. But it's a good start. The loss of the tithe convoy is a terrible blow to our village. Our little community is already suffering greatly from the drought, and the need to meet the Tithe Lord's demand. Still, we must all do our part. We have little time to accomplish this task. Can you help? Get the tithe from villagers and scour the area for every forgotten drop.
For the Master. Go safely.
You come during strange times. Every day the tithes we pay to the Tithe Lord increases, and our ability to get anima dwindles. What souls we have to work with are near their final judgment, and we lack the resources to harvest without endangering the hamlet. You have the ear of the Lord Chamberlain. You might be able to pass a message to the Master himself. Take this letter. See that it makes to the hands of the Chamberlain.
Going so soon?
Yeah. Oh, I noticed. His mug right there on the quest text. Well, let's go, tithe. I'm sorry, this is bothering me so much. We are squeezing anima out of people during a drought. Like, I'm sorry, she's just said it flat out. The tithe demands are increasing, and the ability to pay them is decreasing. This is just straight up France at this point.
You make me miss my mortal body.
The souls in my charge simply can't give any more. I will have to give of myself rather than risk them. Too much. Yeah, people are more or less... So remember, everything's made of anima. And anima is used to power everything. So... Psst, you there. Yeah, you. You're that more walker them's fangs have been going on about. Figured you'd be bigger. Anyway, Taskmaster wants to extend his compliments and an invitation to visit his workings. That's a fancy word for a bunch of rocks me and me mates have been digging up. You're keen on all that, pop to the feeder's thicket. I'll meet you at the Fangs Courier. I'll get you sorted right out. And yeah, notice that one of the first things they show us is that not all of Revendreth is like the Chamberlain. They introduce us to the Chamberlain very early on, so we could see the sycophancy. But we also see snippets of how Revendreth is supposed to operate. It's very important seeing both sides of that. Because it would be honestly very easy for Revendreth to suck if all it was that right there. If the whole zone was just, you know, this nonsense, it would be too much. It would legitimately be too much. And yeah, there's a bunch of anima in that statue. Notice that we are actually pulling anima from other things. But we have to make sure that anima is being spent on that statue to, and I quote, make it look cool. If you ask me, the attack on the convoy is suspicious. I told Mistress Mihaela that there must be a traitor in the village, but she isn't concerned. It's understandable. She's got more to worry about, gathering a new tithe. I've taken it upon myself to figure this out, and I could use your help. I've been making discreet inquiries, but I can't be seen speaking with the help. But that's where you come in. Exactly, Xavion. You see, there has to be a traitor in it. Someone had to know the right time to attack the convoy. Yeah, go talk to the help. Excuse me, Mr. Dredge. I am here to tithe you.
Wasn't expecting you to be so...
Oh, never mind.
Clean.
I'm actually
Can I
going to
have
ask you
them
this.
teeth when you die?
No. Don't know anything about sneaky business. All them things I clean go up into the pile. Yep, over here. Nice pile. Them fangs tossing the rubbish about here now. I'll put it here till I check it over the edge into the mire. Have a rummage then. Thanks. Hey, rich man. Honestly, if Johnny showed up here, that would be funny. Hey, rich man. Why you bring me to a place like this, huh? I don't like it here. Too gloomy. And for some reason, all the poor are constantly being taxed by the rich, which I would be very against, because I'm... Johnny. Also, I do kind of like how they don't actually call it taxes, they call it tithing. English is an interesting language, and tithe functionally means the same thing. But there's something in English called connotations, where a word doesn't mean necessarily what it literally means because of how it usually is applied in active language. Tithe implies a little bit of... Exactly. Makes it a little bit religious-y. And considering the very strong cult of personality going through the sycophancy of this zone, that makes sense. Also, notice as we go through the zone, we get closer and closer to that castle. And can I just say, that castle is enormous. No, seriously, look at that zone for a second. Just take it in. Okay, now realize that this entire middle section is the castle.
Look at you, so full of life and free will.
Another tithe, but I have no souls left and no surplus of anima. Did Mistress Mahela not tell you to exempt me? Easy, dear. I can tithe for us both. Oh, no, Veronica, you cannot spare the anima either. We must tell Mistress Mahela this is impossible. No, we must all do our part. I know you'd do the same for me. To the good people of Revendreth, it is with optimism that I address you today, though these are challenging times. First, I assure our holy mission to help the most violent and wicked souls atone for their sins is and always will be our utmost priority. Our rituals are effective, our judgment keen, but fair. We, Venthyr, remain committed to bringing eventual redemption to all who desire it. It is through your faithful work that even the most evil and prideful beings may ultimately be spared an eternity in the maw. Unfortunately, of late the flow of hubris-ridden souls has virtually ceased, and as a result, anima, our most precious resource, is in dwindling supply. Even we, the faithful who extract the anima, have not been spared the effects of this mysterious drought. Yes, we still have our old reliables, our workhorses, yet I fear they will not be enough. We're doing everything in our power to gather more anima, but simply put, we must all, rich and poor alike, make sacrifices for the greater good. And therefore, I've decided to implement a strategy of conservation and rationing, which will keep the anima flowing to those most in need. In this manner, we will keep our people strong and our land healthy, despite the efforts of those who would use this crisis to further their own ends and rebel against the rightful structures of our society. Rest assured, we shall bring these miscreants to justice with fairness and mercy. Of course, I am, after all, nothing if not compassionate. My loyal subjects, we're all doing what we can to stimulate anima production and fulfill Revendreth's honorable purpose. Remain devout and resolute, and know that I will lead us to a brighter future. Look, I like big castles as much as the next person. Played Minecraft, I know how this works.
Approach freely.
I suppose it doesn't matter that I gave extra last time. Maybe I can get a bit more. Let's see. No, not again. I can't. We must all make sacrifices. The Master demands it. The soul is devoid of anima now, fully drained. There will be no redemption after countless eons of suffering. A pity. What? We haven't seen it yet, no, Papa Nix. Obviously, I have seen it, but we are observing those as we encounter them naturally. So anyways, we just condemned a soul to eternal torment. keep up with tax quotas. We've seen various forms of horror in each of these zones. I think this is the one that bothers me the most. Oh, there it was. Uthor, 100%. Please help us complete the Ritual of Atonement, and then we can speak with you. Sure. Hey, you. I'm afraid, Bella. Of course you are, Keltish. Your judgment day approaches, and we must rid you of your sins. I haven't lately, Atrocious, but I do sometimes. I only play WoW with friends, so, you know, last night, for example, I did several Mythics. A Mythic 2 and Mythic 6. But for the most part, I've been waiting on my friends to resub, which they will be doing pretty soon. Because, you know, the patch is in 2 days. Lighter? I do not fear. Yes, your sins exert a terrible weight upon you. I will petition the accuser for judgment. Now, Keltish, have you noted anything suspicious? I hesitate. How would I know what is suspicious? Samu and Ilka quarreled here over tithe and drought. Is that suspicious? Perhaps it is. Most forget that souls observe all around them, even though they are caged. Hey, Zechariah Jebediah. Oh, by the way, I didn't properly show this off yet. So you see this thing we keep trading anima from? It's a very small amount. It's a pittance. It's like 5% of the quest objective. Well, does that thing in his hands that's showing off the anima look familiar? Thank you for the sub, Zechariah Jebediah. And if you want to put that towards up to 3 things of your choosing, please let me know. Dealer's choice, you got it. Cool. Whoops, actually.
My master did say to serve everyone. Remember, a safe flight is a boring flight.
Suspicious? Our glorious masters left a message that reek of intrigue and scheming. Can't help you. Have you identified the traitor yet? Oh, so this is an interesting information you've dug up. Ilka and Samu argued, you say? And you found a coded message indicating that the tithe is going to be sent out soon. Those are helpful clues that allow me to put the puzzle together. It's clear to me now who betrayed the village, and we know what to do about it. You'll deliver invitations to a meeting to our suspects, and I'll reveal the traitor. Please don't delay. We don't want to know what the traitor... We don't want the traitor to know that we know what we know.
The living in the land of the dead. Dark times.
What's this? Lajos is having a meeting? Splendid. I love the chaos he incites. Ugh. Can't you see I'm busy? What does Lajos want now? Couldn't it be covered? This could be covered in a note instead. Get it?
Approach freely. You must see my tailor.
I was...
They can make you something that will fit just right.
No, thank you. I was not sure this task was possible. Very impressive work.
Go safely.
Yep, you're welcome. I ripped the blood from the poor in one of the most literal ways I've ever done that. What now, Lajos? Unlike you, I'm busy. And now, Samo, tell us about it. Who did what to whom? Simply delightful. Make light if you must, but I know you betrayed the village, Ilka. I have no idea what you're talking about, Lajos. You've made a mistake. Easy there, Lajos. Stop pointing across at Ilka. What proof do you have? Her coded note about the tithe, for one, but it doesn't matter. You don't need proof when you have instinct. Instinct? You? That's rich. Besides, Little Bat told me Samu's been skimming anima off the top of the tithe. It's he that has betrayed us. Trust? What? Trust me on this. You've made a mistake. Everyone calm down and lower those crossbows, or I'll shoot! And then they all shoot. What a mess. Inconvenient that my note about the tithe was found, but a little whisper here and there, and they were willing to blame each other. Nice that it worked out in the end. Thanks for the unintentional help. You're welcome. I didn't realize they'd murder each other, but we do what we must for the greater good. Denathrius must go. Farewell. To his high exaltedness, the Lord Chamberlain. My lord, our humble hamlet of Darkhaven is beginning to crumble under the weight of the tithes demanded by the Tithe Lord. Our plea for more souls has been ignored. Souls we do have are nearing their final judgment are quite dangerous to harvest without the help of a Stoneborn, which we cannot afford the anima to activate. We need help. Could you please bring our concerns to the Master? He is wise. He will understand the crisis we currently face. We are loyal servants of the Master, and are getting caught between the rebels and the Tide Lord's oppressors. Please help us to help the Master. Your humble servant, Quartermaster of Darkhaven, loyal servant of the Harvesters and of the Master.
I serve the Master.
Oh, the peasants have asked for help, have they? Those who are loyal would know that sacrifice is essential to the survival of Revendreth. Yes, these are dark times, with anima and new souls being in short supply. But we must all do our part, however painful.
Give no credence to the rumors of rebellion.
You walk in the domain of the Master. Tread carefully.
I'm General Call. Those Stoneborn who remember their oaths to the Master are under my command. The path between here and Sire Denathrius is no longer secured by my forces. I am pulling my troops from this war to support the Master's will elsewhere. Sire Denathrius has dispatched me to bring you directly to him.
The rebellion is already dead.
Yeah, these two can go straight to heck.
Some have not realized that yet.
No! Double no! Wait, do you have a necklace?
I made it.
Can I see it?
I made it with a button and a necklace.
Oh, that's pretty. I like it. Did you color it?
Uh-huh.
Nice. I like it. And now I will steal it. No! I will steal you too. No, get back! Alright, it sounds like I'm being called off to dinner. So tomorrow, we will go ahead and meet Sire Denathrius.